Hello there guys, so I'm here again and I want to specifically make a video for master players on how to reach Challenger in one split. Now first of all, is that even realistic? Can you actually reach Challenger in one split? Many people did it, including me, so it's realistic. But it's totally fine if you just reach Grandmaster or if you just reach, let's say, 400 LP, because that still can be progress and eventually you'll have more experience for the next split. For example, there are faster and slower learners. There are obviously people that have more or less time, so it may also depend on some outside reasons on why or how quickly can you actually rank up. It all depends on you. Now for example, I did actually reach Challenger before Neona. In the US I was 750 something LP. Just by the time I took the picture I was 612. Then I just played progressively more and more. And I just want to share it with you guys on how did I reach it, and what exactly do you actually need to do. Now first of all, in the introduction I want to tell you guys one thing is to actually believe in small changes, because step by step you'll be able to actually improve, because those small changes will actually pile up on top of each other. So sometimes you will just only work on very small things, and step by step you'll be able to very easily rank up. Focus on the video. Now usually this is not something people even add in their video, but we are in 2024, we can check the date, right? So what do you have to do? Ideally, if you can, turn off the notifications on your phone actually, because this will be a longer video, but don't worry about it. It will be a longer video, but it will be also timestamped, because maybe a part of the video you already know how to deal, for example, with the mental issues when it comes down to League. So maybe that part you could skip if you are actually having a very good mentality already. Notably, I would highly recommend you guys to actually, as I said, turn off the notifications on your phone, while notably click on the full screen. Click on the full screen, because this way you are, and I'm not even doing it so that my people watch my video more for more engagement, because hell, I don't even get monetized. It's not for me, it's for you guys, because if you are on full screen there are less distractive clicks. There are so many distractive clicks in here, or so many applications people could click on. Well, also notably you could also turn off some of your Discord notifications if you choose. And the other thing is, because there will be a bunch of information in the video, I would highly recommend you guys to actually take notes, especially with the things that you feel like you will not remember, just because this will not be a short video, because you don't just so easily, so quickly rank up from master to challenger with a low amount of efforts. Alright, so we got that most the introduction. That's it for the introduction. Let's actually straight up jump into the video. reason because main emphasis on macro, wave management, wording outside of micro things. Now, the thing about macro is that quite often what happens in master, people don't, they're not consistent enough with their lane management in waits, while also notably say, okay, let's say in whatever way laning phase is over. They don't have the best, quite often they don't have the best objective recall timers. What they also quite often do, people farm ARAM for no reason, people side lane way too much for no reason. People don't ask themselves enough questions of what's their purpose and how should they play around your team or how to play around the enemy team. And so quite often you see lots of like kind of like weird things that's going on. For example, even if you play like let's say a top laner that totally cannot team fight, and we could only like conditionally team fight. Let's say if you have like flash ghost up on Darius, maybe you could like try to go for something with flash ghost. But if you don't have those tools, often you have to side lane. So people quite often are lost what to do in mid lane game, what to rotate for, what's too risky, what's consistent to go for. People also perma push waves. They don't like mid game freeze when it's actually possible, when there are no objectives up or nothing consistent to rotate for. So there are lots of like macro mistakes you should watch out for in your replays or perhaps ask questions from someone that's way better. But there is a lot to talk when it comes to macro, so you know, I just I just stop here for now. Builds and runes are also very important. Now, lots of people don't know what kind of builds and runes to get. Genuinely, they genuinely don't know what to build, and it matters quite a lot during the whole game, or ideally more so in your laning phase. For example, if as own you don't know how when to get phase rush of obviously into the enemy champion, you're gonna die. Like you're just gonna be murdered in lane, and mid game, late game will be also harder. If you don't know, like if you just genuinely like don't know like what are the generic meta runes, for example, first strike is also quite strong recently. So like if you don't know the your correct runes game per game, they actually affect the game way more than you think. Not getting that phase rush in important cases on a Victor, not getting that aftershock on Crescente because people perma go for that for no reason in every single matchup, even in those that they cannot basic attack as an example. Is very very bad. So obviously you got to be like very conscious about your rune decisions, even the smaller runes. So be very cautious about those because different runes have different allowances in a lane. For example, with the Halo Blaze, you can actually pressure way more early on, and it can be better against squishies, even so after nerfs on ring champs. But it depends, you know. It severely depends on your matchup, on your champion, and how likely you can flex your runes. For example, on Pike, you can't really flex your runes, like you can't really get anything else on Halo Blaze as an example, but on many champions you can actually get different runes. For example, Aftershock and even the shield rune is also very important. Guardian to know when to get which on bot lane. One protects a bit more into both, the other one gives more durability against engagers or like stronger lane champs like Tristana with the Alistar, whatnot in the enemy team in ORL. So that's just a good example. Okay, if you don't one trick now, you can also one trick. That's also totally fine because, for example, Potent did actually reach rank 1 with Fiora, so ideally your champ also has to be strong in the meta if you wanna one trick a champion. I would say ideally. It doesn't have to be if you really enjoy the champion, just ideally. You can also draft around your team or the enemy team very very easily, just because that will actually allow you to get extra edges in the game. So if you say like you play two to three champs instead of one champion, that's also totally fine because you'll be able to draft around the enemy team or your team. So be a bit more conscious about like what's going on in you know, champion select, because a lot of times people just autopilot pick the same pick over and over, even though they are capable to play more than one champion. Communicate more, stop doing the bare minimum every game. Now this applies more so for jungler support, because quite often like so many junglers do the bare minimum, which means they clear their camps, sometimes they gank, sometimes they take on objectives, supports as well, they borderline don't do anything on bot lane, sometimes they throw a poke in, sometimes they ward a little bit, but quite often supports can also have a good attention management in the game, and they lack those things mid lane. So often, as I seen in Master, like bot laners streamers are up pinging shit even if they play Yumi, and basically that pike will non-stop roam to a objective. They're not pinging the fact that the enemy support has a good rotation to grab, can rotate gank mid lane. They don't ping shit in fact. What's also very important about the support role is your pick, so that's where drafting is more important. Um, but basically, I would say just do more than the bare minimum. This could apply to every single lane. Like, try to do more than the bare minimum of just doing your own little things. Be more consistent. This speaks for itself. Basically, there are lots of like coin flippers in Master Plus. People are very inconsistent with their games. People can be very inconsistent with everything. Like I don't even have to say examples as wave management, as builds, as you name it. Like just be more consistent with everything you can. Think more actively. A lot of master players are perma doing the same things, and the definition of insanity. If you do some things over and over and you expect different results, then there might just be a problem. So gotta you actually gotta take some changes and test different things out instead of like going for the same thing that already does not work for you. Um, and what's very important is to like always be active on your thinking, complain less, which I already typed it down in here because when you complain, you're actually like not caring what's very important for you is your own performance. And there's another one here. Seek out for help. There are better players, and it is just very simple. Even though you are master, you should actually watch the VODs of better players playing against a specific matchup. That will allow you to like understand more and more on how to deal with a specific champion that you kind of sucked ass into. So that's also again like very very important to know how to deal with. So I would highly recommend you guys to just like watch better players or streamers perhaps than you guys, and you can even ask questions in the chat of a streamer, and perhaps they can even give you like informative information. That's what you should do. Now let's move on to like bad, more so bad IRL habits in general that you should watch out for because they will very heavily affect your gameplay as well. Yo guys, now right now I want to talk about removing bad habits and fake friends from your lives. Now, I know that this may not sound like this will upfront affect your gameplay because I'm not teaching you how to build an item properly or what kind of mechanics should you learn, but you have to understand your general habits will affect your gameplay a lot. Because in Master Plus you got to take every edge possible. So for example, if there's a guy that sleeps like 3-4 hours, he will be way more cognitively impaired compared to one that sleeps 7 or 8 hours ideally. And there are lots of league players that actually don't sleep enough. So let's talk about sleep deprivation. 7 to 8 hours would be ideal. This is a consistent amount of time you can actually like sleep, but you can also just sort of IRL limit test it on yourself if you can sleep 6 hours as well. It depends on your circadian rhythm. So you can also test 6-7 hours. It doesn't have to be 8 hours. It really depends on the person. But it's very important to get enough amount of sleep. Otherwise, for the whole day, you'll feel way more tired. Especially by the time you came home of your work, playing League will be very difficult. So ideally, if you did not sleep enough, I would heavily recommend you guys to actually get a motivational sleep of 1 or 2 hours, while also that will help you a bit so you're not that fatigued. Now, let's move on to the other one that's also sort of connected to this. Lack of pauses can cause eye fatigue as well. So you're constantly like, it doesn't matter if you have like blue screen filter on, or it doesn't matter what kind of lights do you have on your monitor. Eventually you're gonna get eye fatigue, from staring too much at your screen. So taking pauses of course helps you to reflect on your own mistakes, while also notably your eyes have to rest to some extent. So it just really comes down to like how much can you actually like respect your eyes. Because for example, if you've been playing League, let's say for hours, maybe it would be ideal to take a pause and pause away from screens, ideally from phone screens, ideally, or PC screens in general. So your eyes can rest a little bit. You can also choose to do eye exercises if you really need them. It may depend on the person, of course. Now, alright, we got it. Sleep enough, man. We got it. Now let's move on to the next one. Now, skipping meals or unhealthy eating. So your brain needs fuel to function at its best, right? Avoid sugary snacks and processed food. I remember at a time in my childhood, God, I ate so much sugar, like I didn't even know why do I feel so brain damaged. Like I felt so cognitively slowed. And this is especially important for Americans because literally like if you go to a shop, you're gonna find like basically so big amount of foods with full of sugar, and people say it, but it's party size, or people just like buy it in bulk, but it feels like lots of people are just like consuming in one run quite a lot of sugar. So I would be careful, especially in every country, but especially even so around America, because they can affect your gameplay, right? Now, you can also enjoy some brain boosting choices such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats. Now, the thing that you have to understand overall, the impact of eating on thinking speed depends on what you eat and how much. So for example, if you eat a light meal, might not have that noticeable of an effect, right? While a giant plate of greasy food, yeah, I can relate because I'm the one that eats that much, will actually can lead to a mental slowdown. So should be a bit more cautious in that. Even so, Nemesis said in one of his YouTube shorts that he actually doesn't prefers to eat before he plays, ideally, so he can be a bit more focused. Notably, if you don't eat in the morning, then your focus can be way higher than usual, so that's just a extra tip. While also dehydration. Now, dehydration might be a sneaky thing because PC, gamers are rooted down in one place, right? They don't move away from their PC. So I know this sounds so basic, but it's nice if you have water, not the sugary drink I have here, but ideally water, mineral water around you. So you'll actually have like constant hydration options, because I feel like quite often if there isn't like a water bottle around you, it's less likely you're gonna actually drink water. That's the thing about me as well. I less likely gonna drink enough amount of water if there isn't water around me, because quite often you can be actually very sucked in, you can be quite addicted, and you don't even wanna move away for a water. So you may not even notice how dehydrated you are. So it's very important to have just the water nearby you. You can grab it really quick, you can drink. So that's very important to have. Now, this is especially important for the gamers, especially when I was when I was a bigger tryhard, I was on my Challenger run, Grandmaster run, basically I did actually physical exercises. It's not just good for your body, so you have to realize like your mind is connected to your body, right? And vice versa, right? And so you have to realize that it's good for your brain to exercise. It does not come down to that this will be only healthy for my legs or my arms if I work out. It does not come down to that. If you have like a full workout session, so regular exercise does actually improve blood flow to the brain. So that's very important to have a proper blood flow, because lots of gamers are not moving enough. And quite often, if you guys noticed, or if you guys know, actually pros do have their own workout routines. I'm not sure if it's part of their program, but they do have it. If you search it up, you'll find a bunch of things which can boost your memory, focus, and overall cognitive function. Okay, but Gaby, what kind of exercises should I do? What kind of exercises do I even recommend if you are actually talking about like exercises? Anything that gets to move your body. Plankings are really, really good in my experience. Now I did truth to be told, I did a lot of exercises at the time. So I did 28 exercises of an application called Six Packs in 30 days. Now it's not like I got six pack in 30 days. It just came down to have like a very good like guided exercises. So if you have one of those applications that can actually give you very good guided exercises that will actually move your body, so it just really comes down to like on the difficulty to some extent of the exercises. So you have to actually sweat, in my opinion. So if you are actually like it has to be intense, right? So that's my experience. Like it has to be intense, and once you actually finish all of those intense workout exercises, you feel way better about your body and your brain. So it has to be like 3 planks. It has to, like, you have to do, I think, bunch of exercises. And if you do like ideally at least like 15-20 of those, you feel it in your brain, you overall feel more energetic. Now stress, of course, bad mindset is also very important to watch out for. So chronic stress, and lots of league players can actually be very stressed out, right? It can happen quite often. Also something here, it's just like a There's something in my eyes. Bro, what the hell is this even? Okay, so let's move on to the stress one. So chronic stress can cloud your judgment. So from one hand, if you're actually stressed out non-stop, it can cloud your judgment. In fact, if people are quite often stress the fuck out of them, quite often they aim to blame each other, so they don't feel so pressured on their mistakes. But also notably, if you are constantly stressed and you're not focused on your own gameplay, often people tend to blame each other. You will not improve if you constantly watch out on like what others are doing in the game instead of focusing on your own mistakes. That's something very important to watch out for. So it's quite important to practice mindfulness, meditations, exercise, ideally taking breaks, managing your stress, because if you are so stressed out constantly, you're actually overwhelmed by stress, right? You're overwhelmed by some form of stress. That will actually affect greatly your performance. So I would heavily watch out for on having a good mindset. And soon we also gonna get into the good mindset section. So of course we actually gonna go step by step into the next guidance. But there is a final touch in here. So inconsistent practice and lack of progress tracking. Now this is also something very important to watch out for, because if you're inconsistently practicing, what does that mean? For example, you actually have a very bad, like you're smurfing quite a lot and you're playing against players that are not in your league, which is very important to not do so. I know some people are scared of their own rank because they can't compete against the enemies, and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna just jerk up smurf on some silver players so I can feel good about myself. But that's really not a good mindset to have, when it comes down to improving, so I would heavily recommend you guys to actually do not smurf as much as possible, while also if you are actually 1v1ing someone, you should also ask yourself, why did you kill someone, why did you get a kill? Because sometimes you'll be able to get a kill with a specific way of playing, but sometimes it just happened because your opponent misplayed. So sometimes let's just say maybe like Twisted Fate missed his gold card on a minion, so it wasn't because I outplayed, let's say, Twisted Fate. He would normally kill me, he just misclicked, in a close combat. So you should ask yourself, like, why did you win that 1v1 instead of like you just won it, Progress tracking, another very very important thing. The reason behind progress tracking is very important on your own, to type down notes and step by step actually track your progress is very important, because quite often what happens is that people are tracking their progress based on the LP gains that they get from the game itself, and that tends to be very very bad, just because it's such an emotional regulator, this LP gains. So for example, if you lose LP, that's absolutely bad, and if you gain LP, that's absolutely good. And more than often, that's how like people track their progress, and that's the interpretation. But usually you should understand that what's important is for you to improve every gamely, so that should be understood as the good thing. And what's bad, if you just, let's say, if you just like won a game for free, barely gave any thought to the game, and you didn't learn anything significantly new. So even if it was a free win, you got that LP, you should deserve that LP. It should not be fake LP. So you should actually track your progress in notes. Ideally, you can make some Google Sheets, I mean whatever you want to use to track your progress, because it's not great if you allow the game to track your progress, because often you can be in a losing streak of 4 games or 5. It can be 6 games, it can be 3 games, right? It doesn't matter. And quite often people feel very low about themselves because they feel like this day they didn't progress at all. Didn't progress at all because they didn't actually mindfully type down any type of notes they should watch out for. They just rather track their progress based on like how much LP did they gain, not based on how much did they improve. So you guys didn't really focus on your patterns. You guys just focused on basically on how much LP did you get, which is a very very bad mindset. So I would actually avoid that. Now, fake friends. This will be very I said this will be the last one, but I just look at this is the fake friend. So this is also a very important one. As much as possible, people that are demotivating you from your goals, ideally as much as possible you should cut them out of your life, or try to have a healthy conversation about your plans in league, because you know, even though you don't allow some fake friends, even if they still live in your life right now, even though you don't allow fake friends to sort of manipulate your decisions, at least subconsciously, if they constantly try to demotivate you or tell you that you will anyways not succeed, you will anyways not succeed. Eventually, if there will be days where you'll feel, let's say, demotivated, right, to play league, and then you may be gonna give in a little bit into their opinion, at least subconsciously, that yeah, maybe I'm not that good anyways, actually, or maybe I will not make it anyways. So like, why would I quit up, you know? So eventually, like, fake friends can be very, very, very sabotaging. Some of the sabotages will be straight up front. Some of them will be less so upfront. Some of them will sound like something like they are very judgmental of your champion that you are playing just because they are envy because you're ranking up. So people can also express their enviness in different ways to demotivate you from sort of ranking up. So fake friends are also something that's very important to watch out for. Now, that's it about the generic habits that you should watch out for before you queue up for league. Let's move on to the next one. Now, guys, I want to specifically talk about this type of brain booster pills, health supplements. Is omega 3 worth? Is lion mane's worth? I actually have personal experience with both of them. Now, notably, I actually did reach Challenger before without actually taking any amount of like brain booster, health supplements, or other type of like supplements. But it doesn't mean they weren't useful. So the next run, I was actually just only reached like Grandmaster, one game of Challenger. I did actually take these Lion's Manes and Omega 3, so what do these things even allow you to do? Do they help you overall? Both of them serve a similar purpose of actually raising up focus. Obviously, they will help you to some extent with your cognitive functions. For example, Lion's Mane does actually provide you extra improved cognitive functions, which is super great. Reduce symptoms of anxiety and depressions, which the issue is still there, you know, that often anxiety and depression can actually affect quite a lot your in-game performance. Improved nerve repair. Lion's mane mushroom may help you to recover from nerve injury. Studies have shown that it can promote the regeneration of nerve cells. So because you're using brain cells when you play league, in them back, reduced inflammation and boosted immune system. Now, this is generally great in my experience. I actually felt like if it's quality, you know, like if it's a quality Lion's Mane health supplement, you know, that I would like, I don't have a specific site to recommend it from you guys. Like most likely around your area you're gonna have different websites, but if you can find a very good quality Lion's Mane, I would just probably go for that. So it actually did help me quite a lot. The other one is actually omega 3 fatty acids. Now most of them are almost the same. There's this like super version or krill oil version. There are somewhat different versions, but they're almost the same actually. So omega 3, what it helps you with is actually improved health, right? So it's quite good, heart health. From the other hand, it reduces the risk of strokes, improves brain functions, which is the main thing you should put emphasis on, reduced inflammations. Omega 3s have anti-inflammatory properties, improve mental health, and reduces the risk of eye problems. Right? Now, note that best if you actually ask your doctors before you take them. I did not ask any of them. I just took them. I could not be bothered. I mean, they are just health supplements. It shouldn't be a big deal if you take them, but you can also preferably ask your doctor to take them. Mainly, that's what I did actually do when it comes to health supplements. Sometimes I took collagen, but that doesn't have to do too much with your brain's function. But mainly, these were the two health supplements that I would highly recommend it to you guys, because these will in general also help you. Now, as a last step, should you actually buy league coaching? Is it worth? Now, some of the league coachings can reach in between 10 euros, 100 euros, 25 euros, you know, you name it. It can be even 200 or even so more. So there are going to be plenty of different league coaches um, on the internet. In fact, if you're gonna type league coaching, bunch of different websites will show up, such as Metafy, League Unleashed, you name it. And so one thing that's very important to actually watch out for is to ask for a lot of transparency. Now, if the individual itself is popular enough that they have some type of role pros or a YouTube channel, and they have a lot of like transparency on like how their league coachings in general go, and they are well-known people, usually they cost the most. So it depends on your budget, and perhaps if you live in a third, or why is this even an example here? That's just weird. But it really depends on your budget and how much do you want to invest into league. For example, if your main interest is just to be as good as possible in league, and this is what you want to be the best at, then I would recommend you guys, even if you live in a poorer country, to invest into league coachings. But you don't have to buy the expensive ones. So you don't have to, for example, buy the ones that will cost you a lots of money. For example, if I'm gonna click on one of these, so the more popular league coaches, they tend to charge you the most. Oh, that's a lot of money. 520, 1 hour, 32 dollars. So ideally, you should go for quality, right? So as much as possible, you should actually go for a really good league coach at a convenient price. For example, even myself, I have very convenient prices. I pretty much coach any type of role, so these are my own prices. I'm a very good league coach. I would recommend actually myself. Shameless self-promotion, right? And what I would really watch out for is just to ask for complete transparency. So for example, if you cannot afford more expensive league coachings and you wanna, for example, you are from a lower economic country, and let's say like $20 seems to be quite a lot for you just to pay for league coachings, you can also like there are probably like free league coaches in different discords, like the League of Legends discord. There are gonna be people that will give you actually free advice, but if you are Master Plus, it's kind of hard to like look for consistent and good advice, because most of the people will be under you, and there will be very rarely people that will be above Master or in Master, but they may just entirely play a different lane, so they may not know enough about your own role, so it's kind of just hard to like find free um, league coachings. Sometimes, of course, there are gonna be league coaches like me that will actually host free coaching giveaways. So basically, you'll be able to like get free value out of that. In fact, after this video, I will make a free coaching video actually. Fuck. Actually, I better English. Wow, a free league coaching giveaway. My bad. So yeah, let's summarize this. Basically, if you actually wanna invest into league coaching, yes, it can be totally worth, but some of the league coaches can also be misleading, so they may do even worse to you. So actually test their teachings, ask yourself questions. I would ideally, depends on how much do you make, obviously. Like if you actually make a decent amount, you're fairly like in the middle class, and I would invest into like more professional. That depends on your budget, like theoretically, there are many league coaches that can cost more, and they actually make up for the to the cost, right? So you pay for the value itself. Some of them are just like high cost for no reason, like we know niche in the past, obviously. So those are the things you shouldn't watch. Buy, and also watch out for, again, like ask for as much transparency as possible. Even if you don't pay much, even if you pay 10 euros, $10, ask for as much transparency as possible, because anyone could actually like post, like most of the people could actually like have this, like people could theoretically ask for a friend to send them a screenshot of all of these like things, these achievements, and basically then they'll have this picture. So ideally you should ask to add these players. Ideally you should ask them to log in their accounts and show them that it's actually their stuff, because it's not actually too hard to, perhaps it could be a streamer as well. Maybe there's a world where someone is a very I don't accuse this person, of course, but there could be like a world where there's like a very small streamer and someone is like taking screenshots of their achievements, and they are trying to like get financial value out of it. So there are lots of scammers as well in the league coaching scene, so that's what you should actually watch out for real. Especially very small discords now tend to be scam discords actually. So I don't know, they need ideally some, like, I don't want to like kind of like mess with the small businesses, people that are trying to make small businesses on the discords. But if they are like zero, there aren't many members, there are zero reviews, I would ideally tell you to not invest into such. Someone needs to have reviews before you buy, you know, because there are many $10-15 coaches that actually have like over 50 reviews as I do, for example. So basically there are, this is like 10-15 euros is often the starting price for like way too many like people. So it's like if you could choose someone with like over 40-50 um, reviews, then basically you should go for that one instead of the guy that has like no reviews. It's just like a simple logic. um, and also notably, as a last thing, it's actually way better for most people to buy league coaching from someone that's professional for a lower price instead of buying some very expensive $100-200 league coaching, because usually it lasts 1.5 hour, 1 hour on both sides, but multiple sessions of a league coach that actually does charge you way less will be better, instead of like buying someone that's very garbage too. Like, I do believe his league coachings are very high on value, but that's not for everyone because it costs a lot of money. Like, I believe his time is very valuable. Definitely he's the best league coach out there as an example, but no, it's not for everyone's budget, you know. So that's my general recommendation. So that's it for now, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and see you on the next one.